lose the gosh dang picture. I always lose it. I don't remember where I put it on my phone. Gosh dang it.
Okay, we are live. Hello, my
Hey.
ramens. Welcome to the third episode of the Ramen Shop. I'm your host, Nenorama, and I'm here with my lovely co-host. How does one person, also known as Howie?
Hello.
Welcome to this episode. We have plenty of things to talk about.
Well, specifically one thing.
Well, yes.
One primary subject.
Yes, one primary subject. But before we get to primary subject, we go on ramble before of random things I want to talk about.
Okay, sure.
Yes. Okay. What came out today on Steam is Persona 4 Golden.
Oh, wait, really?
Yes, I've already
What
bought
the
it.
heck? Is that okay? I only know a little bit about Persona in general. I only know what my friend Aaron has told me.
Yes. And you've watched.
Is this a new
enough
game
No.
is this
Okay.
what's the deal with this?
Okay. So the deal with this is that Persona 4 was originally only playable on the PS Vita, which is like their PlayStation's mini handheld they had in the day. The team behind the game, Atlas, was like, okay, it's been long enough. No one's going to buy it for this dead handheld system. So let's put it on Steam for everyone to buy now.
Nice.
And so now it's way more accessible. It's $20. And heck yeah, I immediately bought that because I haven't played a Persona game before. I want to. And Persona 4, I think it's a fine place to start. Although I would have liked to play 3, but 3 is also just not available on Steam yet. So, heck yeah. And Persona 4 is the one where you watch the anime.
Oh, that's the
Yes, this is the game that the anime was adapting.
Okay, is there just the one anime or are there like multiple
There's
for
multiple.
Persona?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they do have it for Persona 3, 4, and 5.
Which one's the one I've seen?
4.
4? Okay.
Yes.
Is that this one?
That's this one.
Whoa,
So you can now
okay.
play the game that the anime was talking about and actually get the full story without
Oh my gosh.
without all the problems that the anime made.
The like staticness of the shots was frequently just absolutely comical.
Yeah,
I loved it. It was great.
Good lord. that was awful. But
Good times.
Good times, but I now have the game, and it's like I said, if anyone wants it, $20. That is a steal for a great game that's easily around 100 hours for the full thing. So heck yes.
Dang. All right, well that's cool.
Yes. Like it was leaked that this would be coming out, and I wasn't sure if I believed them, but then it came out today, and that was an insta buy. I couldn't not do that.
Man, that's so cool. That's so fun.
Yes, I'm excited for that one. That one's good. Now just give me Persona 5 on the Switch, and I'll be very happy boy.
You are a simple man with many needs.
Yes.
Many hyper-specific needs.
Yes. Also, the PlayStation 5 was announced. They had a big old like trailer and stuff similar to a Nintendo Direct that came out, and I saw that, and I want a PlayStation 5 now. It's official. They've won. Bye Xbox. Haha, no money for you.
Nice.
Yes, I saw it and I was very excited. There were games that I really want. I'm a fan of Ratchet and Clank, which is a series that's kind of fun. New one, which hasn't. Last game I think that came out for Ratchet and Clank, that was an original. That's a continuation of the series. Was like 12 years ago. So now they have a new one that is one of the like games that'll come out on the system day one. I'm like, heck, yes, and it looks awesome and like this new generation of games looks stunning, and I'm all for it.
Super
Like,
exciting.
Super exciting. It's like I'm saving up monies because I feel like this console will be expensive. That's the thing.
I mean, it's a console, so.
Well, yeah, but usually with consoles, it's like they'll be like $400 launch, Like the most expensive one was the PS3 when it came out at like $550 when it first came
Okay.
out back in the day, which was even bigger in
Wow.
money. But
That's
like,
a lot.
and that was a mistake on PlayStation's part because they lowered the price that holiday season.
Nice.
But like, it feels like this console could be like 550 again this time because of how intensive the hardware is. Like,
Yeah.
these are major like leaps in terms of like the insides of the consoles. So like you can go between 4 games instantly. If you're playing one game, you're like, I'm not feeling it, you can just put it to the side, start another game, and it'll instantly load. Like,
Okay.
yeah, so
Cool.
yeah, and which is cool for those that like that kind of stuff. But they
As
also
someone
use
who
it for, well, yeah, but plus
As someone who
yeah,
just owns computers, I'm
yes.
like, oh,
Ah, oh,
nice, yeah, cool, dude.
yeah. In terms of like stuff, they're also trying to use it for games as well. So then there's like almost no load times,
Really cool.
almost
That
at
is
all.
really cool.
Yeah, and with this Ratchet and Clank game that I'm very excited for, the big concept is like dimensional rifts. So you can instantly
Cool.
hop between dimensions. Like there'll be
Oh,
these
that's fun.
cracks everywhere. And in the trailer, it was so cool. It's just like Ratchet, which is like the main character, was was going between these portals, and like as he's falling through, it would be like through the sky, and like he landed on top of like a pterodactyl and goes through that into like a cyberpunk world, and I'm like, holy crap. And this is all instantaneous. I'm like, heck yes, give me this now.
Sign me up. Take my money.
Yes, sign me up, take my money, I'm in. And they were showing off all these other games that I think look really fun. And I like the design. A lot of people were making fun of it because it looks a bit like a Wi-Fi router.
Aww.
But the thing is, everyone's critical. It doesn't mean anything. I think it looks cool. So those are just some things that I found that I think are interesting, that I really like. Another thing, kind of like a follow-up to last week, I listened to 2 soundtracks musical wise.
Yeah.
I listened to the Percy Jackson one, which we'll get to towards the end of this
Same.
podcast,
Okay.
and Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice,
Finally
baby.
hopped in. I was like, heck yeah. You know
Good
what?
stuff, huh?
It's going to be a long time till I actually see it in person, so might as well. And I love it. Legitimately, like that hopped up. That like immediately kicked Hades Town down a couple notches. I was like, oh,
Whoa. Really?
oh, easily.
What?
Easily.
Okay.
Like
Interesting.
I love Beetlejuice. Like the thing
Huh.
is like I like the creepy aesthetic. I liked the original movie back in the day. I think every single person's performances song-wise was flawless. I liked every single song. Not a single song I didn't like. Hades Town, couple songs I was like, that's fine, not my style. Every single song of Beetlejuice I loved.
Dang. All right.
Like, it makes
There
me
you
want to
go.
see it in person even more. Like, holy crap.
Do
Like,
you have a favorite song?
ooh, it's tough. It's tough. Like, I'm a sucker for stuff from the original movie that they remade in this particular album. In other words, I'm trying to remember the name. Deo, the Banana Boat song. Deo, we see Deo. I love that one because it was a fun reinterpretation of the original, because I love the original song, actually. I remember back in elementary school when we used to sing it, and I was like, oh, that was fun. And plus, the way that it was used in the movie was really funny. I love that. And this was a cool reinterpretation, and I really like it.
I would probably be more into it if I had seen the original movie.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like the thing is like the original movie with Michael Keaton is fun. It's still a bit dated, but it's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
I just like this interpretation of Beetlejuice. I think I like it more than the original. Original was more creepy and not as fun.
Yeah.
This one is a lot more fun, and I like that.
All right. Yeah.
I like the comedy, and like I really want to watch this live now because it's like while I know the story all the way through, I know that they're gonna have a lot more comedic moments and change things up, and I like that. It's weird how like the one song I wasn't that like it's a very good song, but I think it might be my least favorite is the
Which
whole
one?
being dead thing.
Really? It's so.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I like the Oscars. Oh no,
Yes.
it's the Tonys. The
Yeah,
Tonys
it's the
version
Tony's version. And
better than the one that is actually in the musical.
it's weird. I like the one in the musical just as much. I think they're equals, and I understand because you showed me the whole being dead thing the first time. And I was like, oh, that's fun. The thing is like I just like all of it as it keeps going on. There's songs that I feel like, yeah. The one song that took me by surprise that I really like is Girl Scout.
I love Girl Scout.
Because they took one character that showed up for like 5 seconds in the movie into a whole freaking song. And it's so funny because they added so much. Like, this girl has like a heart problem. She's like, if I get scared in the slightest, I'll probably die. But
That's
guess
the
what?
most like, oh my gosh.
It's like, but I've worked so much courage, and these Girl Scouts, they've made me feel like a better person. I'm going to go and sell Girl Scout cookies to make it
Does
so
she
that we're
die?
true. It's implied.
Dang. Rip
Yeah,
in
the whole
pieces.
being dead thing.
Yeah, the whole being dead thing, you know.
And I'm just that one made me laugh a bit. I was like, it was real good. The one song that I'm just like, they didn't was Creepy Old Guy.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one.
I enjoyed it a lot, but I was like, I can't believe they did that as like the theme for the
I think
song.
they. Oh, I can't even. I haven't actually seen the movie, so I can't actually say that. So never mind.
Yeah, it's like I know why that's happening and the whole plot for that, but it's different. Also, I feel like with the Broadway version, they mixed in elements of the cartoon as well as the movie. I was like,
Cartoon.
yeah, there was a cartoon for Beetlejuice in the 90s, and I had no idea. I've seen like an episode once, and it's just to be like, oh, well, there was a cartoon. Let me check it out. And I was like, it was very fun. The thing is like in the original Broadway, there wasn't as much like fun banter between. I'm forgetting her name, but like the main girl and Beetlejuice. There wasn't as much fun banter between them in the movie.
Lydia?
Yeah, Lydia. There wasn't as much.
Lydia.
There isn't as much banter between them two. You can tell that she still doesn't really like Beetlejuice as much in the movie. In the cartoon, they had a lot of fun. It was like, oh, you know what? I like this whole death thing and the weird chaos. And so does Beetlejuice, and he's a friend, and that kind of stuff. And they were more like friends in the cartoon, and more so in the Broadway.
Well.
Yeah, and and I like the two mixed together and fun. I think this is
They
probably
have
my
fun
favorite.
chemistry.
Yeah, I think that this is my favorite interpretation of Beetlejuice as well. Like I just like I'm trying to remember it. Is it Alex Brightman? Yeah, Alex Brightman.
That sounds right.
Yes, Alex Brightman is the guy who plays Beetlejuice, and boy, do I love how he plays Beetlejuice.
He's great. He does an excellent job.
Yes, excellent job. Heck
yes,
yeah.
I sing like this 8 shows a week.
Heck yes. Like, and it's like his voice is so like it has such a wide range.
What a killer part! Like, dang.
Like, dang. I legit wonder how his voice is doing. It feels like it should be dead because
Nah,
that
he knows
gravel.
what he's doing.
Well, yeah,
He
but
knows
that
what he's doing.
gravel 8 times a week. Holy.
Yeah, and then voice rest for the other whatever remains of the other 24 hours each day.
Yeah, but dang. Okay.
At least I would assume.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough about that. And while I probably could talk about this for longer,
we might just like need to do another musical episode every few months.
Honestly, that would be good. So then I can listen to some more musicals and be like, yo, now that I've done this, let us get into this because I need to listen to Heathers.
Let's do it.
Yes. Need to re-listen to The Phantom of the Opera so then I can see if maybe Hamilton did overtake it. It probably did. And
let's
where
do it.
my new
I'm down.
rankings, but eventually that.
I am down.
But today's actual theme is about Percy Jackson, the
Percy
boy.
Jackson, baby.
The half-blood hero. Heck yes. So for those who do not know, Percy Jackson is a series that is set in modern days, where we have Percy Jackson, our main hero, and he finds out through his mother that his dad is a Greek god. And of course he's like, wait, what the frick? And then a Minotaur comes, smacks everything around, and he is taken away to a camp, which is a safe haven for him. And then is put onto a quest to go potentially get his mother back, as well as clear his name, because he is accused of being the thief of Zeus's lightning bolt and much more. This if you're listening to this podcast, we're going to be spoiling everything about Percy Jackson.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know why you're introing it.
Well, it's just like,
now that you have a summary, go read it.
You have a very quick summary. Go read it. Do not watch the movies, please.
Unless you want to just have a good time. It's an interesting experience, watching the movies and then reading the books. I've heard, and it is also and it's also just a good time reading the books and then watching the movies and
making fun of it. I remember because
pretty bad.
Yeah, because back at an old birthday party, we watched that movie and just made fun of it for the first 30 minutes before we had to shut the movie off and we had to go. But the movies aren't the best. They are entertaining for the most part.
Sea of Monsters is much more entertaining than Lightning Thief. Lightning Thief was trying to be something, and the Sea of Monsters was like, everybody already hates us, let's just make a movie, I don't care.
True.
And that vibe was much more entertaining.
Interesting. I would say the opposite.
Really?
I hate the Sea of Monsters way more, because the thing is they're trying to actually get back on track with the books, and they're failing stupendously.
I mean, I think at that point they're at that point it feels to me like, all right, we have a subject matter. We're not going to do the subject matter. But let's just do things from the subject matter, but also do our own thing entirely. I don't know. It did not feel like they were trying to appeal to people who like Percy Jackson, in that this is a good adaptation of those stories.
True, but
it felt like we're doing a Percy Jackson thing, kinda.
Well, yeah, it felt like, hey, we're trying to bring you back in after we messed up so badly with the first one.
I don't think so. I think they were like, look,
but they did say
I
that.
know who I am.
The writers were saying we were trying to be closer to the originals to bring back the fans.
It doesn't feel that way when you watch it, though. I don't think. I mean, to me, it feels like they're like, look, we know what this is.
Yeah.
You know what this is gonna be. I don't know. If you go in with no expectations, it's goofy.
Yeah, my problem
is
that
I had dumb.
The problem is I had below expectations and it still was worse. And I was
I don't understand how.
The thing is, I actually enjoyed the first Percy Jackson movie, the first 2 times I watched it.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? I was like,
How?
here's the thing. I don't like all the things they changed. But me being dummy boy at the time, I was just like, this is still entertaining though.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it was just like, the thing is like, the when I reread the book and having friends that were very critical of all of the flaws it had,
Hello.
it quickly went, yes, yes. all, all of the flaws became more apparent, and it was harder for me to watch with rewatches unless I was making fun of it with friends. They're not good movies in terms of adaptations. I feel like the first one's actually fairly entertaining if you never read the books. Just personal taste, I guess.
I think it's too boring to be entertaining. I think one of the reasons why I prefer Sea of Monsters is that it's just chaotic and just dumb and just there's a thing happening. Oh, there's another thing happening. Oh, there's another thing happening. And it's just like it keeps moving just enough to be entertaining.
Yeah.
The Lightning Thief is just kind of like, okay, you're fighting a thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're having a conversation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just
There are not enough moving pieces for it to distract me from how mediocre it is.
Yeah. I guess at the time my standards were indeed lower. So it do be like that.
I will say, like, it has been literally years.
Same. It's like I wanted to maybe watch them, then I was like, no, I can't stomach that. So I just watched some reviews of. There's this one YouTube channel that I like. This guy goes by the name Dominic Noble, and he talks about adaptations. He reads the books, then watches the movies, and talks about like what he sees, like what did he keep in, what did they change, and what did they just leave out. And dang, both of those movies left out and changed so much.
Yeah, they did.
So bad.
It's true.
Yeah.
It has also been, I think the last time I read a Percy Jackson book was in like, I don't know, when did the last one come out? Because that's when it was.
Okay. Are we talking
Percy Jackson?
Okay, just
Heroes of
Percy
Olympus.
Jackson's.
The ones that have Percy Jackson in them.
I think that was like 2011.
Dang. Wait, really?
Yes.
Heroes of Olympus?
I think it came out 2011 because I think that
Boy.
Heroes of Olympus was 2012.
No, that can't be right. That can't. Hold on.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
Googling it. That can't be right.
Because I remember reading the first Heroes of Olympus in middle school.
No. I'm talking about the last Heroes of Olympus. When did that come out?
Oh wait, the last Heroes of Olympus? Because
I said the ones that have Percy Jackson in them.
Oh, okay,
which
with
Heroes
Percy
of
Jackson
Olympus
in
does.
them. I think that is 2014, 2015.
Okay, yeah.
Because that sounds about
Jackson.
right. Because if we're talking all of them, okay, like the Heroes of Olympus. Last
Percy
one was
Jackson
like
Olympus.
2014.
2014. Dang. Which is no way. Wait
6
a minute.
years ago.
I was a sophomore. That's not possible.
Yep,
What
I know.
The heck?
Right? Like.
Was I a sophomore? No. Wait. I was a junior maybe.
No, junior.
I was junior. Dang.
Yeah.
What the heck? That's not allowed.
I'm
not that old.
I know, it feels weird, right? Like
Jeez.
within that time, all of the Kane Chronicles came out, all of the Magnus Chase books came out.
Oh my gosh, I've not been keeping up at
The
all.
one that I haven't kept up with that I need to read is the Trials of Apollo.
What the heck is that?
Okay, so apparently after the end of the Heroes of Olympus thing, and apparently like Apollo betrayed them. I forgot the part. There was a part where he did something bad, or one of his kids did something bad. So he was outcasted. So he has no powers. He's still Apollo, but he's 14 and he's sent to Camp Half-Blood as if he's a demigod.
Do people know he's Apollo?
No, he's not supposed to say he's Apollo.
So he just run around saying hi to all of his kids, like, sup?
Well, pretty much he's put on quests, and if he does all of these quests, all of these trials, he can become a god again.
Does he? That's very Greek. That's a Greek mythology vibe.
Yeah. I
What
haven't read any of the books yet. All I know is there's 5 at the moment.
I 5?
Yes.
Why do we care about Apollo that much? Is my question.
I don't know, but apparently this book series is very popular at the moment.
What?
Yes. All of Rick Riordan's books have been popular. Like,
well, yeah, he's Rick Riordan.
Yeah.
He did the Percy Jackson, and now he's set for life.
Yeah. Like, there's not a single one of his books that I haven't liked so far. So, like...
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and I feel like he's only improved as time goes on, and the more inclusive he becomes, the more people like his stuff. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't. I like. I was about to debate the improved thing. I think for me, it might just be personal taste.
I think he's consistent. At least
he seems very consistent. I would really need to go back and like read these with a critical eye in order to be able to like talk about the actual like quality.
It's like I did that 2 years ago. Dang. Like maybe no, it was probably even later than that. Because it was with the last Magnus Chase book. That's when I read that. And I think the latest okay, that was 2017. That was 3 years ago.
Old boy.
No.
Old boy. 2016.
Oh, that was 3 years ago. Okay, so I really liked the Magnus Chase books. Some people weren't.
Do not like them.
Yeah, some people weren't as big of a fan. I like Magnus Chase because I relate with him. He's probably the most relatable protagonist for me. I like
Percy Jackson because I relate with him.
Yeah, I relate with him as well. It's like I relate with both. I've related with Percy due to the ADHD and the overall just like wacky attitude. Just like, oh, let me do this right now. Oh, dang, let me just chill. But look at that over there. So I relate with that, but I also relate with Magnus because he's super chill. Like, he's kind of apathetic and not understanding a lot of things, but he's also caring at the same time. And I was like,
that's why I have a hard time. That's why I have a hard time.
And for me, it's just like I'm empathetic, but I'm also very apathetic. So it's a mixture of both. And so
I'm
I'm
the
just like,
opposite of apathetic.
Yeah, like for me, if
apathy, who's she? I don't know her.
Yeah, like for me, if I'm in a situation and like anxiety comes in, my now natural response is just to be apathetic about the situation. That's just bodily stuff. Yeah, coping mechanisms.
I do comedy and denial.
Yes.
It's my personal poison when it comes to
comedy
anxiety.
as well. It's like apathy mixed with comedy. Yeah. So it's like I like Magnus, and that's probably the main reason why I like those books. I also like the side characters. Not all of them. Not all of them are as memorable.
Yeah.
But the daughter/son of Loki, they're a good character, I think. First gender fluid character. That was a good one.
Hey.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I do like. Oh, I'm trying to remember names. It's been a while, so. She's the main companion. I
have no clue.
She is of Arab descent, and so she still believes in the Arab gods. When her
well, she's got the whole Norse thing going on, which is fun.
Yeah, which is fun. Oh yeah, she's also a daughter of Loki.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, so that was tough for her. It was just like, yes, I still believe in Allah and still do all of the stuff. I just believe that there's an actual overall God, because these goofy motherfrickers can't be actual gods.
I remember that discussion in the first book. That was interesting.
Yes.
There were some interesting things. I think maybe the problem for me was that I'm just not that into Norse mythology. Whereas I am big into Greek and Roman mythology.
I'm big into all of the main 3, which is, well, I count Greek and
The
Roman as the
main
same.
three.
I say well, yeah. If we're talking like mythology in
If we're
terms of like
talking what
ancient
United
mythology,
States citizens tend to care about.
yes, there we go. It's
God.
Greek and Roman, which I count as practically the same because practically is. Egyptian and Norse. I like all of those three. Norse, the least of the three. But the thing is like it made me care more with these books, which I think is a testament to it. So I do like Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. I don't like them more than the Percy Jackson books and the Heroes of Olympus, simply due to how much I love every single character in the storylines and everything in those.
Yeah.
I like the Kane Chronicles.
The Kane Chronicles are fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
I think that each series has a very
Different
different feel. Yeah.
Yes,
And
which is good.
I think the biggest contrast is between Percy Jackson and the Kane Chronicles.
Yes.
But the going to Magnus Chase felt like we were going back to Percy Jackson kind of, but like more chill and less of what I enjoyed about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is why like if it was completely different, I might have given it more of a chance. But no.
Okay. It's like I like the chill aspect, and I think it's mainly because I like Magnus, which is what keeps me.
Just as a person.
As a person, I like his dialogue. I like how he is, and I feel like that's one of the keystones. If you don't like Magnus, you're not gonna like these books as much. It's like I liked the interpretations of the gods. I think it's very fun, and they do have like those talks of like beliefs in God and whatnot, and the Norse mythology, and I think it's very fun. I do like how they're really still intertwining the 3 different book series, because Kane Chronicles, Percy Jackson, and Magnus Chase are all in the same universe, and like that is dope. I'm waiting for that book because Rick Riordan has been teasing that, where all 3 are going to intertwine and all 3 mythologies are going to clash together.
Oh my gosh! What, with like the same characters and everything?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, because there was these in between books where the Kane Chronicles and Percy Jackson have met up, and like those were fun. They were smaller, but they weren't as in depth. But they're teasing that there's going to be this big old adventure where all 3 are going to collide, and that's going to be chaos, and I can't wait.
Cool.
But until then, all I have is that I need to apparently read the Trials of Apollo series, and I can't wait for the live action Percy Jackson show. I'm very curious. I'm very excited because Rick Riordan's practically at the helm of it.
I mean, the thing with that is that, I don't know. I don't think that an author having a ton of creative control in a show that is based on their work necessarily means that it will be pretty good, because like they are not, like, this is not their medium that they specialize in. So like it could still not be great. I think there's a better chance that it will be good.
I do think that.
Typically. But the thing that gives me hope is that, like, when I heard the news, I was like, all right. And when I heard the news about like Rick Riordan was gonna be like majorly involved, I was like, all right. And then someone told me that the kids this time, they're actually gonna be like 12, and I was like, okay.
Well, yeah.
Maybe, okay, all right. I'm looking forward to it.
The thing is like I trust Rick Riordan more than most authors, and that's just probably why I was excited.
Why?
Why? Because he's very big on keeping everything as like true to his stuff. Plus, I just like him as an author. I think he's like. I like his sense of humor that he puts into the books. I like how he brought in that whole entire different viewer point of different characters throughout books. I thought that was very interesting, and I really like that. He's very wholesome as a person. It's like he's like this Catholic dude who constantly vies for trying to bring in more people of color, more LGBT, and try to show fair representation, and he made all of the Greek myths feel as if they were natural in our day and age in all of these books, as if, oh, these would totally happen. And
I mean, these are all really great boosts. Only one of those, I think, equates to trustworthiness in my eyes.
Well, yeah, it's like I can see that. It's like
good author does not equal good showrunner.
True, and the thing is, not like he's not a director. He's just there for like casting. He's there to watch over the script.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yes,
casting will be good.
So he's part of the casting. He's watching over things with the scripts. So if there's something that he doesn't like and thinks that isn't true to the feel of Percy Jackson, he'll turn it back. And if there's like slight directional things, he's there for input. So he's not like the actual showrunner. He's not writing anything. He's just there. And I like that. He's also been going off on Twitter recently, and I'm all here for it.
What do you mean he's been going off on Twitter?
He said how he flat out just hasn't seen both of the Percy Jackson movies and called them trash. Flat out.
He hasn't seen them and he called them trash?
Yeah.
That's not fair. I don't know. I don't they are trash. But I don't think you get to not watch a movie and then call it trash.
Maybe he did. I'm not sure, because it's saying that he might not have, or maybe he did watch each one once. Because it all started when 5 days ago somebody was like, is anybody else's Disney Plus censoring the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief Lotus Casino scene, which is the best scene of those movies, in my opinion. And it was like apparently censoring
Lady Gaga was in. They had Poker Face.
Yeah, they had
and that
Poker
was
Face.
the only enjoyable moment of the movie.
Yeah, like big old cool looking casino and all this other stuff, and and Rick Riordan tweeted, "I don't know, but clearly it's a mistake. They should censor the entire thing. Just 2 hours of a blank screen."
Dang, dude. All right.
And he's like,
I would assume he has seen it. Because you don't...
I think he has.
You don't
but
have,
he also said, finally, I have
picture.
not seen the movies and don't plan on ever doing so. I judge them from reading the scripts. Okay. From reading the scripts because I care most about the story. I certainly have nothing against the very talented actors. Not their fault. I'm just sorry they got dragged into that mess.
I mean, the thing is that you can't, a film is more.
It's more than just. Yeah.
It's more than just the script. Yes. So I am not a big fan of that. But,
true,
he can do what he wants.
True, but also I'm here for the roast. I like that. It's just it's refreshing to see that Uncle Rick hates the Percy Jackson movies more than we do. It's
Rick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, everybody loves this man. People recently on Twitter are just going nuts because J.K. Rowling has said some bad things, and. Of course, and once that happens, they're like, oh yeah, well here's a true author we can stand. Yeah, here's a good boy who does all the things that we should be seeing from an author. And he's and he's doing all that, and he's very fun, and I like it. And he's like, well, to you guys, it's a couple hours of entertainment. To me, it's my life's work going through a meat grinder when I pleaded with them not to do it. So yeah, but it's fine. All fine. We're going to fix it soon with a smiley face.
Well, I'm excited to see the show. I think that'll be fun. I'm excited to see the show. No, we're not going to talk about the musical until later.
Yes, that's saved to the end.
Dang it. What was meaningful to you about the Percy Jackson series?
For me, it was a mixture of things, because at the time, I loved Greek mythology. It was it was one of my favorite things.
For sure.
And so that was one big thing. just seeing how fun and like mystical it all felt. It felt very real, as if these were actual myths. Like I said, if it was done in the modern day, that was another thing. Second was the comedy. I hadn't read books that were nearly as funny as those books, and I really enjoyed it because it was like my type of humor. It was very pop culture reference filled, mixed in with like just like how kids would actually react in those stuff. Third, probably at the time, was just the relatability, because it's just like, I haven't read any other book that has a main character that has ADHD.
Yes.
And dyslexia. Sure. It's like, I don't have dyslexia, but for my friends
that's
that
debatable.
had dyslexia.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, debatable.
Well, it is. Dyslexia is such like a do you have any idea how difficult it is to get diagnosed for dyslexia, and then how difficult it is for people to be like, yes, this is a conclusive thing?
True.
Dyslexia is a whole thing.
Yeah, it's like I might actually slightly, because it's just like sometimes if I'm reading too quick, things will get jumbled up. And
if we're talking about like neurodivergent brains as like this is a type of brain to have, rather than this is a condition you live with or whatever.
Yes.
Like if you look at it like not as a disability, but as just like, you know, this is how your brain works, and that's normal.
Yeah.
There are so many there's so many comorbidities between just like ADHD and autism is a bit different, but like ADHD and dyslexia specifically, and then anything like dysgraphia, dyscalculia, all that stuff, like all of those are so jumbled together that their theory is talking about like, look, we're just gonna call this whole category of brains dyslexic for the following reasons, and then with these specific other things added in depending on the type of thing you've got going on. Like, dyslexia is complicated.
Yeah. Okay.
It is a whole lot more. It is so much more than just difficulty reading.
True. But I'm just going off of the interpretation that the mainstream has of dyslexia at the moment, before we finally get into before the mainstream, is that it's way more diverse, because it hasn't gotten there yet. So, well,
the mainstream won't be there until we start pushing it there. So
true. Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna keep talking about ADHD and dyslexia and such things way more than is necessary.
Yes, because because it's like ADHD. I'm still trying to get people to understand it, and it's hard because there's still things that I don't even understand it.
Psychologists and those kinds of like brain people have trouble understanding it. Like
it's like we're learning more and more as the days go.
The diagnosis is completely busted. There is almost all of the research is done on like children and younger teenagers. There's like no research on adults. There's less research on women than on men in terms of the little adult research there is.
That's
like
weird.
It's some nonsense.
That is some nonsense, but I hear that like right now, the past couple years, like 3 years or so, and continuing, they've been researching on adults more, because
that's good.
Us as adults are now very curious about it, and because
we're
now in charge, they're like, hey, we're researching this ish, and that's why
someone help me, please.
Yes, so like for those quick things, for those who have ADHD and sometimes don't, or are interested if they think they have it, first get diagnosed. That is very important. It is good to get diagnosed, and while I haven't yet, I'm planning on doing so.
It is
soon.
really good to get diagnosed.
I am 99.9% sure I have ADHD.
I would bet many dollars.
Yes, absolutely.
You have ADHD, my guy. You just gotta go get the paper and then go get some counseling.
Yes, and it's just like there are very good sources that helped me understand my ADHD even more, mainly Pina, ADHD Alien comic.
Yes.
Oh, love her comic so much.
Her.
And it's just like, I have this. Oh, this is too real.
This is extremely real.
Yeah,
SOS.
extremely
The Danny
real.
Donovan on Twitter as well.
Yes, I
It's
was
really, really
just about
good.
to say that one.
I think she's on Instagram also.
Yeah, also Jessica McCabe, I think.
I thought it was McCabe, but I
McCabe, it
don't
could be
know.
that. I don't know.
How to ADHD on
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
Really, really good.
Also very good. Anyways, so back to why I like Percy Jackson, as our ADHD brains have allowed us to go on tangents, is that they made it so that ADHD, while a lot of people see it as a very bad disability, they made it so that it was like very relatable and like it's cool. You have ADHD and it's helping you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
like,
they don't do the whole thing where it's like, look, your brain is disabled, but that allows you to secretly be a genius. Like these are
Yep.
normal kids,
Uh-huh.
but their brains are wired to do different things, which is what ADHD and
Yes.
dyslexia and all that actually is, which
Yeah.
was extremely validating to read as a small.
Extremely validating, refreshing, like, and it's
And also because these books are written for those types of kids. These are the most like easy to read and rereadable books I've ever seen in my life, besides maybe Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah, those two. I love those books when I was a kid. So it's just like they're very rereadable. They're stories that I just can get very invested in, especially Heroes of Olympus. It's just like, because of course I love Percy Jackson so much. But Heroes of Olympus, I really connected with all the characters and their stories even more so because it was even more fleshed out. I think it was an even bigger story, even though the last book flubbed it up a bit.
Oh, did it?
The Blood of Olympus? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. In my opinion, it definitely did because it was a
Why
shorter
so?
book. It was supposed to be this big climactic ending with Gaia. And the reason that it all triggered was because Percy got a nosebleed.
Here's the thing. Here's the reason why this book is probably not as good as the rest. Here's some evidence. So I mean, more like a testament to how it's maybe not as good. I remember almost nothing from this book.
There you go. There you go. I don't remember.
Nico is gay.
Well, yeah.
Everyone thinks
that's all.
Leo dies, but he goes
Oh,
back
that
to
was
his island
so
girlfriend.
predictable, and it was so bad.
I didn't feel like he was trying. Like I was not mad at that because I did not.
I was fine with the very
believe that
ending
he was
when.
dead.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's just like he tried to do the cop out where it's like, oh, he died. And it's like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I don't think it's a cop out because you get some juicy like.
I did like the ending where he does go to see Calypso. Like,
yeah, because you get some juicy like all of his friends thinks he's dead and that's very sad. There's some good drama there, and then he goes and he stays with Calypso. So like effectively he's dead to them.
But the thing is, he's going to come back, and
oh right, because if they're gonna do
yes,
dang it. Why are there sequels? Why are there sequels to this?
Well, the thing is like, well, yeah, but the very ending of that book, in general, was very rushed. There was a lot of things that they left open-ended as well, and it was just like, okay, he very much rushed all of that. It didn't feel right. It's like there was some stuff that people did like, and I liked that Nico was one of the main characters finally for a book. And that was the one.
So great through that whole series.
I love
Nico has always been great, and I've always enjoyed him as a character.
Like I think there's only 2 characters that I'm not as big a fan of, and those were like I'm trying to remember. It's like me not remembering their names already says something, and it's like the 2 characters that were from the Roman camp that were with Percy.
Hazel and Frank?
Yes, Hazel and Frank. It's like they're nice. I love them, but they're not as memorable for me.
I like them.
I like them. I'm not saying they're bad characters. I'm just saying they're the least memorable of that cast.
I think that
like Piper and Leo, or Leo's my boy. Like
Piper's boring.
What?
Sorry.
What?
Piper's not interesting to
Oh,
me.
Piper's so interesting to me because the thing is
I.
like she
Mm-hmm. Why
because
is Piper interesting to you? And then I'll tell you why Frank is interesting to me.
okay, so Piper's interesting to me because it's just like this character who is more of a tomboy. She likes being a bit more out there in the wild, being like one of the boys, kind of like that kind of jazz. But and she doesn't see herself as like this super beautiful person. And then she finds out her mom of all people is Aphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, now she has all these expectations from everybody that oh, she's this beautiful person that can get people
Well,
with
she
her
is a
looks,
beautiful
which she
person.
is very beautiful. She doesn't see herself as like that super pretty
Well,
person for the
why?
most part. Well, the thing is because oh,
She's not like insecure about it, is
well,
she?
she's
She's
not
just
well
kind of
not
like, I don't think I'm
insecure.
that
She's
beautiful, but I
yeah,
am. Like,
well
I don't know.
yeah. She's just
She's just
like I
not.
don't think I'm that beautiful, but I'm just me. She's like that. She's and the thing is like she just constantly wants to get more validation that she's more than just the daughter of Aphrodite.
Yeah.
And I feel like she does build up to it. She gets more important and more like she has a more like crucial role as time goes on. She's saving people as time goes on because at the beginning she was more of a damsel in distress and then she was saving the main characters by the end. And I was like, that's why I find her a very interesting character. It's like she
I
builds
think,
up as time goes on and she gets more interesting and more valid and more confident in like
I mean, that makes her a character with an arc, I guess. I
yes, a
mean,
character with an arc, but the thing is like I don't feel like Frank has as
I
much.
don't think, well, hold on, I'll talk about Frank in just a second. I don't think there are a lot of ideas that are like in terms of Piper's character structure,
Yeah.
I don't think there's much that is, I don't know, it's not that interesting to me to think about.
Okay.
And like she has an arc and it's like, yes, you go girl, you did it. You showed everybody that like you are yourself and you don't have to be anything else for anybody else. And that's good. That's fine. But I'm not like sitting over here like, man, this though. I don't know.
Well,
There's not a
I
there's
don't
nothing
think
to
she's one of the
play
top
with.
tier characters as well. I still think those go into the characters of like Percy, Annabeth,
Mhm.
Chase, Leo.
The
Like,
reason the reason why Frank is more interesting than Piper to me is because the of like his hook basically, which is that
mm-hmm,
he's this big clumsy dude
mm-hmm,
and he is um he's not good at the things he's supposed to be good at
yeah,
in because like the whole thing is that like you're bad at school and you're not good at being a normal kid or whatever and you're just doing your best, but
mm-hmm,
then you go to Camp Half Blood and that's where you fit and that's where like you're out doing adventures and stuff and you're built for that. But
mm-hmm,
Frank is not built for normal life. He's also not built for this,
mm-hmm.
and that is different than any of the other characters, and that is interesting to me.
True.
But the like he's not like he has a hard time like again like he also has a difficult time meeting the expectations of his family and of his um like peer group and of his camp basically.
Mm-hmm.
um but this thing that it's his grandma, I think, that says it.
Yes.
She's like, look, here's the thing about you. You can become anything you want to become as long as you work at it. And that is something that is I think that is something that is just kind of realizing that is, I think, kind of the first. I don't know if it's the first. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this because
Mm-hmm.
like there have been suggestions that it has been suggested by like experts on ADHD and things that the like part of the criteria for diagnosing ADHD like ask a series of questions that are for any age, one of them being, do you feel like you are capable of anything as long as you can get into the zone?
Mm.
um which like the people with ADHD tend to get pretty beaten down by trying to work in the system or whatever, but they know
Yeah.
that they can kill it if they can get into the zone on a specific thing. The trouble is
Yeah.
just figuring out how to get into the zone. So
Absolutely.
and that is Frank's whole entire story, is how do I do this thing but my way?
Mm-hmm.
What is my way? Where is what it's less like how do it's less like it's less finding what he's good at and more how do I do this my way. And that's his journey, and that is really interesting to me, and that is really relatable to me,
Okay.
and that is, I don't know, it's interesting to think about, and it's something that impacted me and something that I don't remember a ton from the Heroes of Olympus book
Mm-hmm.
series, but that's something that hit and stuck with me for years. So like, I don't know,
Okay.
that is interesting to me. Piper is pretty, but she doesn't think she's pretty is not interesting to me.
Interesting. It's just like like the way you explain it makes it interesting. I never got any of that in the slightest from Frank. Uh, honestly, I thought
I mean,
he was
that's
just
stated
kind of
as the thesis
clumsier
of his
and that he just
character.
wants to get Hazel. That's it's just like, okay, I'm a bit of a dope and I can't do
The
much,
thing
but at
with
least I want to get Hazel. And that's what I got from his story for the most part,
the
as well
thing
as my life is contained in this box of sticks.
the Hazel love triangle is annoying to me.
Oh,
I
that
don't
was
know.
well. The thing is, it
It
wasn't even
wasn't
truly
interesting.
a
It
love
didn't have
triangle
a
because it went
purpose.
away very quick. Because Hazel obviously likes Frank, and Frank likes Hazel. That was
Yeah,
just
they're
them in
cute.
there. It was fine. It was cute. And
Leo coming in there is like, what?
well,
Huh?
yeah, because
What?
well, that's the thing. It's just like that's why I like Leo as well. It's just like he wants to find love. That's one thing for sure. He feels so out there because he's the third wheel to everyone. He's the
It's
comedic
true.
relief. He knows that he's the quirky kid, even among the entirety of a group full of bad A heroes who also have ADHD and also their own quirks. And all he has is a dragon. So he just continues to go on in his story. He's like, okay, new girl. I don't know what her and this big pigeon head dude are doing, but like, I'm interested in her. I'm gonna go for that. Finds out, no, she's not my type. She obviously likes other guy, another third wheel.
It
And
just
he
doesn't
gets to
serve a purpose.
I know.
It's just
Well,
needless drama.
it was needless drama, but it was to help build up Leo, because that was just another thing that he thought he could try for, and went down the chute. So making it when he finally got to Calypso, probably my personal favorite thing from the series was
Okay,
him
their
and Calypso.
Their dynamic. Like, I was reading it and I was like, this has Keenan vibes. Like, as
Yes.
I was reading it.
Because it's just
This
it's
is
like,
Keenan's type of romantic dynamic.
Yes, because it's just like I relate most with Leo in terms of all of them. Like,
Yeah.
even he has his like apathetic moments. He's like dying inside, but he still puts on a happy face, and I love that because I relate. And the thing is like because we had Calypso in the first books, so when she came back, I like lost my ish, like because she was this perfect person who is just like everything that Percy would ever want in a girl, quote unquote, but not really, because Annabeth existed. And it was just like she has been just like turned down over and over again for centuries because of these heroes. And Percy says, I'm leaving, but you'll be free. And she believed it. Little did
I forgot about
Percy
that.
know the gods forgot.
Gosh, dang it all.
They forgot because they had more pressing issues, which sucks because it should
And
have
to be
been
fair,
immediate.
Percy never followed up.
Yeah, Percy
be
never
fair.
followed up, but I'd also blame that on him thinking that it was all fine the moment that the gods promised to do so.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, he's just dyslexic and
Yeah,
has a lot
and
on his plate, and it happens, you know?
He's like he's got so much going on anyways that I can forgive him for that. He just didn't know. And so we follow up on something that Percy supposedly had fixed so long ago. And then Calypso's like, okay, the gods are just messing with me now. Who the frick is this kid? It's like, I'm giving up on that whole perfect bullcrap. I don't care who this kid is.
I mean, and he shows
All
up
of
and
this stuff.
he's not at all her type.
He's not in.
And she's
yeah,
like,
she's
"Who
not
is
his
this?
type
He's
either.
so annoying. Leave
Yeah.
me alone.
He's
Who
like-
are
and
you?
he's
What
like-
this is not the formula."
Yeah, this is not the formula. Who's this kid? It's like, he's not bad looking, but he's not the best. Like, he's no Percy.
Where's my Odysseus? Get out of here.
Where's my Percy? Like, where are these guys? And it's just, and he's like, who is this witch? Who legit hates me on arrival and treats
is
me
this
like I'm
girl?
trash? Who is this girl? She's very pretty, but like, the personality doesn't match. And then just slowly, as they get through it, and they're just like, as they both show that they're both still kind people at heart.
Yeah.
And want the best, even if they don't like each other at the beginning. And then just learn to love each other by the end. I was like, heck yes, their dynamic was great. I love it. And so, and the thing is with Leo, I was like, I know that he is legit going to come back for her, no matter what. He doesn't care. And I like how at the end he was like, yo, Percy? I met Percy. Percy, you're kind of a dick. What the frick? you didn't come back for her? He's like, oh, this perfect boy doesn't actually have a clean slate. Here we go. I like when he came back and confronted Percy on it, and he actually went through with it. I'm like, my boy. And Percy's like, I had no idea. He's like, holy frick.
I think it's funny because like Jason's supposed to be the Percy, I guess, is analog lord, but for this series, but like it's Leo that is the like next generation Percy.
There we go. It's just like, well, the thing is, Jason was set up as kind of like the anti-Percy in his own way. More like serious, more like, we gotta get this ish done. It's like
more regular, uninteresting.
I don't know. I still like Jason.
He's there.
He's there.
You know,
it's
he's
like
a good person.
It's like I like. It's like it's a cliche with amnesia, sure, but I'm still a sucker for it. Just
I love the amnesia. The amnesia is rad. I'm extremely into the amnesia. I'm extremely into like this book series. Just tickled all of my little angsty desires. Or like Leo shows up, it's like, oh my gosh, we thought you were dead. He's like, nah dude, I'm right here. And then like the like, oh, your friend is held hostage. Oh, you got him back, but then the two main characters are literally dropped into hell. Like the now you gotta get him back. I don't know. There's so much drama.
Yeah, it's series. Just like, it's like, I like, because Jason being the son of Zeus, of course, is awesome. I like that. He's Talia's half brother, I believe. And I was, well, not like the other one. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, she is. I mean, he is, I think. Jason?
Wait. Like, is he
half
like
brother,
actual?
Half brother.
Yeah.
Because their mom gets with Zeus, and then she's like, I also
got with Jupiter.
Jupiter.
She got with both, which is probably the only woman that got both the Greek and Roman. The family dynamics
in this whole with everyone.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's like, I like Jason because the thing is, like, he doesn't want to be seen as like, I'm the son of Jupiter. Whoop-de frickin' do. But it's just like, and he wants to be more fun. He tries to act and wants to have a laugh every now and then. But his like intrinsic nature of being the son of Jupiter, who was this war-tearing like monster, is still with him. And how he also has Piper, who keeps him back from like going nuts, which I like as well. I do like their dynamic. I think they're cute.
They're cute. They're cute.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like, I like Jason for what he has. I like how he's just naturally like at odds with Percy. It's like, even if they're on the same team and they both know it, every now and then they're just both like,
They're just
I
so
want to
different.
fight. I want to fight
Yeah.
with you. It's just
They're just so different, and I think maybe why I don't like Jason is because like the character so when I was first reading the Percy Jackson books, the character I
Mhm.
most related to was Annabeth because she's a girl and she's
Mhm.
blonde and she likes to read and she's really smart. She
Mhm.
has the plans and the
Yes.
strategies or whatever.
Mhm. Yes.
And she's got the gray eyes and she's the daughter of Athena and that's cool. But
Mhm.
like now, like I obviously need to reread the books to like
Same.
say this definitively, but the listening to the musical um just brought back a
Yes.
lot of memories and a lot of like
Yeah. Same.
the essences of the characters, and
Mhm.
I think I would probably relate a lot more to Percy than to Annabeth at this point. And I don't know if
Mhm.
that's because I'm more chaotic or more angry or like what, but
Mhm.
um
I get the same.
the
Like I thought
yeah.
the same thing actually thinking about it, because like back in the day,
Mhm.
I also thought I was like, "Yo, Howie's like Annabeth, like
Cuz
super
she's blonde and she
smart."
reads books and is smart.
Well, yeah, I was like, well, yeah, I was just like very smart. Feels like the leader of all of our friend group, all that kind of
Aw.
jazz. I was like,
Mhm.
kind of got my back. I was like, heck yeah. And I was like, and I felt immediately like Percy because of course ADHD
Mhm.
boy go wee. And so listening to the musical, I was also like, this brings back memories. I'm remembering things about different characters and whatnot. It's just
Mhm.
like overall, I still really like it. I do feel like there's even more that can be said with the stories, which is why I'm going to read the freaking Trials of Apollo eventually, because I feel like those
Mhm.
characters are bound to come back in various
Oh
ways.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can't not do that.
yeah.
And
Oh,
like the thing, well, just rounding off what I was saying is that
mm-hmm.
the like maybe the reason why I don't like Jason is because I am very like Percy.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, it's just I feel like more as time goes on, I relate more with Leo, and maybe that's why I just like both. I'm like I like
Yeah.
Percy, not like, but I also like Leo. It's like
Hmm.
they've both got their good characters, but also they're both kind of d bags in their own rights.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like how there's like a lot of different smaller plot points and world building that I really like with it. How like Leo's relationship with Jason changes the more that he realizes that his memories with Jason are different than Jason actually is as a person.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very cool.
I forgot about man, that does suck for Piper in a big
Oh,
way.
big
And
time. I'm
like
happy that they still
that's
ended up
something that was
together.
interesting to me.
But like finding out that all of the memories of the person you've
Yep.
been dating are just not
Not
real.
real.
Oh, oof.
As soon as she started being like, he has blonde hair and blue eyes and a scar on his lip, but it's not a gross scar, it's a cute scar. I was like, all right, Piper. All
Hmm.
right, look. Let me sit down with you. Stop that.
But I also like,
And maybe that's
yeah,
just because I was just wholly uninterested in romance at that time, but
I
I don't
love
know.
Annabeth in those books as well. I love
Annabeth is
Annabeth in
excellent in those
all
books.
books, especially in,
Always.
I like her in Magnus Chase as well. Her small parts were still fun.
Oh, I forgot she's in there.
Yeah. It's just like her being like, okay, this is going to be messed up, but can you tell me your memories of Jason?
Hmm.
And bring up details other than just what you think of date wise.
Piper just starts crying.
Crying, just starts crying as she realizes all those are fake. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh shoot. Also another reason that I think that Piper's still a good character. Anyways,
Well, she's a fine character. She's a good
just
character.
not as
I just don't. She's
interesting.
not that interesting to me.
Yeah. I feel like this does show a difference in our tastes.
Yes.
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 As almost all things do.
Yeah, it's like things that I feel like you would like. It's like then I think and I'm like, no,
Eh.
no.
Yeah.
It's like I know Howie enough by this point to be like, no.
I should
uh,
hope so.
yes, I would hope so. Both sides. It's and so it's like that. Another aspect that I really liked was showing the progression of Percy and Annabeth's relationships as they
Good.
are now both college students.
Super good.
just Annabeth's like, I want a family, and Percy's also like, I want a family. It was just like, but we're both demigods, and that's going to be
rough.
awful. It's just like, I don't want my kid to be in this mess. And then Percy in the freaking Roman camp, where he sees that they have an entire section just dedicated to half-blood adherents,
The families of them.
and their families, and how they can
Yeah.
live
I
just
forgot about
completely
that.
stress-free. And he's just like, this is paradise.
Let's get this for everybody.
Yeah,
What
let's
the
get
heck?
this for everybody. What the heck? Yeah. And also just, I was also a sucker heart-wise when the first book just starts and Percy wakes up and he's like, and there was only one thing on his mind. Annabeth. I was like, my heart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So that book transition is
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Oh,
That
yeah.
series
That
is the
hyped me
first series
up.
I ever, and I think the only series since that I've like read a book, waited for the next book to come out, read that
Oh.
book, waited for like watched it like a freaking TV show.
Yeah.
And the ending of that book where Annabeth's like, have you seen Percy Jackson? He is missing. I was like,
Yes.
how dare you, Rick Riordan?
Oh,
And then
that
starting out the
was
next
so
book and like
good.
with that opening
Oh,
was great.
And just how he legit walked across the country. Fighting through everything, not knowing a single thing.
True.
Still,
It's true.
all with the only thought of Annabeth. I'm just like, oh, dang.
Percy Jackson is just a good character.
Oh, he's such a
like
good character.
nobody beats him. Like
He's still my top
in my
tier, although
opinion.
he's still tied with Leo for me. Like, I still
that's
think,
fair.
yeah, with Annabeth as a close second, very, very close second, because it's just like, she's so fleshed out. She's the most fleshed out character. She's in the most books.
That's true. I think I really, really like Leo, but like every time Percy Jackson would come onto the scene in that book series, I would be like, yes, this,
Yeah, it's like,
yes, this one.
I'll
please.
always have a place for my boy Percy. Like I said, I love him to pieces. He didn't get as much development within the Heroes of Olympus.
Yeah, that's
series.
fair. He had his own book series.
Yeah,
do
he had
that,
his own
so-
book series, so we already know enough. And which
It was fun
fine.
to see him from the outside, though.
Yeah, it was fun to see him from the outside. How people saw him. Pretty much everyone's just like, okay, he's a goofy dude, but he still gets serious when business needs to get done. I'm like, heck, yes. And just this perception of him as like this super powerful all-star who's saved the world, and you're like, dang.
See him doing that, and then people being like, "Man, you saved the world," and him being like, "Huh?
Huh?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess."
Yep.
No,
He
see,
was just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I did that. Also,
and that seems like a
thinking-
double standard with what I was saying about Piper earlier,
Yep.
but I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Just slight, but it's not important enough. But
I think
just
it's
like,
more relatable though, because like you look at your life and you're like, yeah, whatever, that's my life, I guess. And then, but you tell someone else about your life, and they're like, dang, what?
Yeah.
That happened
Yeah.
to you? And I'm like, I mean, I guess. I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, it's like the more that I think about it, the more I'm remembering how much I love
just
it
his
in
life.
various aspects. Like, one of the biggest power moves I've seen in media was just Percy had the chance of being a demigod. Like, no, a minor god, a legit god.
Yeah.
And he was like,
He's like, nah,
nah. I was like, what?
nah, dude, I'm good. I don't want to be this.
He's
I got
like,
stuff
I
to
don't
do.
want this. He's like, I got stuff to do. And it's like, I got somebody I love, and I'm willing to live with them and die with them. I was like, heck yeah, my boy, Percy. Oh, it's like, and I think about it, and I like remember Grover because of this musical and how he truly was. Dang movies.
Let's spend the last 15 minutes talking about the musical.
Yes, let us talk about the musical. I like it.
I like it too.
It's just like when you were telling me and then I got to the song and I was like, okay, I can understand. This is one of the worst songs in the.
Lost in the Woods.
Yeah, that's one of the worst songs, and you just happen to hear that one.
Just hearing Lost in the Woods in a vacuum is like, ouch, my ears. What is this? I do not like this.
Yeah.
But then, like, listening to it straight through,
with the story, with the way that it goes, it's a lot more tolerable. I was like, it's not too bad. But it's still one of the lowest ranked songs in terms of that.
It's
musical.
Yeah, it's not amazing, but you really have to start from the beginning to set the tone and the pacing and the flavor of it, because the first couple songs are like, to me, were like, I was sitting there like, wow, this is just telling, like, I can't imagine that this would be fun for someone who has not read the books, but also for someone who has read the books, this seems very explainy, and I don't like it. But then we hit like the Minotaur stuff, and then Another Terrible Day, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm into this. Into this. And I think what made that shift for me was, first of all, like, just good memories coming back, but I think at that point I just kind of realized that I realized that, like, this show is for a younger audience than I am. And then thinking back to the books, like, this show is, I mean, these books are for a younger me. This humor is good, but I don't really relate to it that much anymore. And like, a Pegasus landed on the hood of my stepdad's car. Like, that's really cute, and but it's not funny to me anymore. And I think having that realization, and they're good stories and they're good characters, and I would like to reread it, but having that realization that I'm maybe a little bit older than this at this point, it's not for me anymore. I'm not to say you can't like it as an older audience, but like, realizing that for me, it's not for me anymore. This show is really, really cute, and it's really, really sweet, and I did almost cry during Good Kid.
Aww. I like Good Kid. Good Kid's a good song.
It's really cute, and it's really fun, and it's just a good time. And I think that a lot of the lyrics are really cheesy. I don't know. Absolutely. It feels like a Star Kid musical, in that, like, the lyrics for most of the songs aren't stellar, but, you know, it's fun.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing.
It's a good time.
It's just like, I listened to it and I was like, this feels like somebody's first musical. And it's because it's just like, there was a lot of it, like, various lyrics did not fit well. Didn't land. Some of the actual, like, in the instrumentals, sometimes the beat was off in ways, and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird.
There was intentionality there.
Yeah, some of the people's performances felt a little off, which is weird, because everyone's performance was actually really good. I especially like Chris
Grover was amazing. Percy was amazing.
Oh yeah, Percy was great. Honestly, he carried that really well.
Dionysus was excellent.
Dionysus was great. It's like, I do like Grover's. Grover's was really good. Luke's was decent. He's not the best singer.
Like, not there for most of it as well. So
yeah, it's weird because it's like Chris McCurl, which is the guy who plays Percy. It's like, sometimes his voice wasn't the best for some songs, and then some of them he did really well. And I was like, okay, he might not have the best control of his voice, which is interesting. But he did a really good job embodying Percy. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Especially
I just realized that,
Their
like,
Sign.
with his voice.
That song, Their Sign.
That was a really good one. Oh, yeah.
Because it was just like, it was that one where he was just like going, because Percy definitely would have been like off track, and it would have been like, I'd just go straight into my mom. I love my mom. It was just like, dude, some of us do love our human parents as well. We're talking about dissing our godparents. It's like, yeah, okay, you know what? This dude abandoned me. My life is terrible because of him. Screw him. And like, heck Yeah.
And then even though all the other kids are like, well, yes, that's the basis for all of our lives, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, dude, yeah. I don't know. They're all
Yeah.
just really supportive, even though like his verse was pretty dang basic. I don't know. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
It was basic, but it
And
was fun.
his voice, like I just realized like I never once was like this doesn't feel like Percy.
Yeah.
He sounds like I would imagine Percy sounding. He expresses himself how I would imagine Percy expressing himself. He did a really great job. And
Yes.
or maybe it was just really good casting, but
I think so. I think it's a mix of the both. I think it was good
mhm.
casting mixed with this actor's performance. Like it
Mhm.
was it was a good performance because you can just tell that I think that almost all of the people who are cast like Percy Jackson's source material because
Mhm.
it feels like they understand the characters and like the characters and are trying
That's
to
true,
embody
yeah.
the characters to the best of their ability. And I feel like
Uh-huh.
that's the main story of this entire musical is that it's just a bunch of Percy Jackson nerds got together and was like, the movies suck. Let's make a
Yeah.
musical and properly tell the story in a fun way.
Yeah.
And it's like I also like how they did different genres of music for different songs
Mhm.
because of like where they were depending on the location or just like who was singing. And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
that's very fun.
Yeah.
I
The
think that's just like the overall
Cerberus
thing. I would say this. Yeah.
as the like underworld DJ was really random,
Oh,
but I
yeah,
enjoyed
I
it.
forgot about that. It's just like that whole we have a ton of dead people here that can sing this song. Who you want to
Mhm.
talk to? Do you have Josh Groban?
Not yet, but we will.
But we will. I was like, oh, that's very funny,
Mhm.
kind of grim but funny, and I
They
feel
did a
like
good job.
yeah, they
Sorry,
did
go
a good
ahead.
job. That's just like my overall review of
Yeah.
this musical is fun. It's not the
Mhm.
best. It's
No.
not bad by any means though.
Mhm.
It's just a fun time, and I feel like if it was in town, I'd go see it.
Yeah.
I just want to
I
see the dialogue and how they do
mhm.
normal dialogue as well.
For sure.
Because I feel like they might do that better than the song dialogue. Because it feels like
Mhm.
they had difficulties with trying to tell the story with the pacing of the song. Um,
Yeah. The song lyrics are typically they're not very sophisticated.
oh
They're
yeah,
just, song lyrics.
yeah. Like the
But the
prologue. When I listen to the prologue, I think that's actually might be the worst song in my
yeah,
opinion.
it's not great.
It was.
It's just a
It did
lot
not.
really fast and it
Yeah.
isn't much and it doesn't set up it sets
Yeah.
up here are the characters and here's what's happening, but like I mean just
Mm-hmm.
like the whole like first few lines like hey,
Yeah.
there are gods and they
Yes.
have kids
Mm-hmm.
and
That
it's
was so
we're not
good.
having a good time
Yep. I
and
know. The thing
and
is
that's
like
as advanced as the lyrics are
it
and I'm
did
like
not leave a good first
oh no, what
impression
am I
at
getting
all.
in
That's
what am
what
I
I was
getting in
thinking.
for?
Especially when there was like, I miss daddy. I miss mommy. I was like
I'm like stop please.
stop.
What is
Please.
this?
No.
And then you hit good
No.
kid, and you're like, I did try to be a good kid.
Kid, yep.
As
Oh.
I was watching this, like
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I was thinking was, man, I gotta remember to have my kids read Percy Jackson.
Yes, same here. It's like
Um,
because I had all the books. I'm not sure. I think I still have all of the Heroes of Olympus, Magnus Chase, and Kane Chronicles in hardback,
mhm.
and I have those already. I think it's just the original Percy Jackson books that I
Yeah.
don't know if I have all of them because I bought those back in the day in elementary school in
Yeah, baby.
paperback.
I
Like
remember like letting someone borrow my paperback Lightning Thief in like 6th grade or something, like
yeah, like just letting
Son of
people.
Neptune hard
Oh,
book from the book fair.
yes, yes. I remember I lent you the third of the. It was I think it was the one where Percy and Annabeth go through Tartarus. I lent that book
Yeah.
to you,
Yep.
and I remember that. So it's like we were part of that as well. It's like
The cover was so rad. That
it's
one is my
so
favorite cover,
dope.
probably.
I think my
That's
favorite.
the first time you see Percy's face.
Yeah,
or really any of the characters' faces clearly, and it's but you
Mm-hmm.
just see his eye, and it's so man, that art is so good.
Podcast.
Oh,
Podcast. I'm almost done.
he's muted.
Once I'm done with the
I
podcast.
wonder why. It's just you and me, listeners. 5 minutes left to go.
No.
I think
Okay.
the hardback
Yeah.
like covers are really gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I think I own all of the Percy Jackson books, maybe except for
Okay.
maybe like one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got all my fantasy books like
Wow.
stashed away in boxes.
Okay. Yeah.
So at some point my mom was like, "What? You gotta stop reading fantasy. Read some classics." And I was like, "No." But then I did also pack away my fantasy books.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, my dad burst
Hi.
in.
Welcome.
That's why I was trying to be quiet. Okay, so he came in. He was just like, because he. For those who don't know, my dad is in real estate. He was telling me how one of the buildings he bought recently was where a lot of Watchmen was filmed. Which is a gritty.
So cool.
Well, yeah, which is really cool because I still need to watch Watchmen, which is.
Watch The Watchmen.
Do you know what Watchmen is?
Yeah, I know what Watchmen is.
Okay, yeah, because there are plenty of people that don't know the Watchmen because it is a bit more obscure in terms of superhero stuff. But like,
the original comic book came out when we were all going like, what if superheroes, but it's
life.
really upsetting.
And yeah, it was just like if it was just more darker, depressing, and more
what if the
quote unquote
morality
realistic.
Yeah. What if the morality of this is extremely dubious?
Yeah, and I still haven't read the original Watchmen. Sadly, I know spoilers because of Watchmen because all of my superhero loving friends spoil it because they're nerds. But I'm definitely gonna watch that soon. All I know is that he's like, currently it's number 10 on Netflix, and I own the building. I was like, sweet. Thanks
That's
for
wild.
bursting in.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's just like with my kids, I definitely want them to read Percy Jackson. I want them to read Heroes of Olympus, Kane Chronicles, Magnus. I want them to read those stories. They're all good. And it's like there's plenty of YA novels I would like them to read. I still want them to read Percy Jackson even though the author is not a good person.
Percy Jackson? Wait.
No. Harry Potter.
Look, here's the
Stupid
thing.
80s.
The author's dead. The books are good. That's what matters. That's all that matters. And if the author is cool, then like sure the author is cool, but like look, we know that like the most impactful ancient Greek philosophers hated women. We know that. It's not
True.
worth talking about. The
It's their
books are good.
stories. We care about their stories.
The writings and the thoughts and the ideas are good. So let's just
Focus on those.
just focus on that and just ignore the rest of it. Like recognize like, hey, this has happened and it's bad, but also like I don't know.
Yeah. So it's just like I'm just going to ignore just everything that J.K. Rowling has said. Just push it
Just
to the
leave
side.
her be.
Leave her
She's
be.
over there.
Yeah.
I'm
She
just
made
not-
her own serious fan fiction after the series was done. So it's like
I don't follow authors on Twitter. I rarely follow YouTubers on Twitter. I just don't want like
well, it's like I follow them on Twitter just to see every now and then what they're gonna say. Like I like Rick Riordan. It's just like it feels like I respect this person. I used to follow JK for that reason, but the reason I kept following JK was just in case she said something stupid, and I wanted to see it when it came out.
Oh my gosh. See, here's the thing. You don't even have to follow her to know when she says something problematic because the rest of the internet will tell you.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you're like, oh, all right, time to go check up on the old JK.
Yeah, because it's just like, at this point, everything that she said that wasn't in the books, I now just don't count as canon, even though she says
No,
it's
if
canon.
it's not in the books, it didn't happen. And if it lends something fun, then sure, it lends something fun, and you can do what you want with that. But like I don't know. It's just you can't take everything that is said by the author as scripture because like as part of the text because what if they say something horrible? if you want to take an idea and incorporate it, then sure, that's great. And I'm into that, and I do that. But yeah, just being the author's dead.
Yeah, the author's
The author's
just
dead unless you
mhm.
want to dig up their corpse, and
Yeah.
that's you're free to do that, I guess.
Honestly,
If
it's
you think it'll make it more interesting, go ahead. If you just if you just want to, I'm not a fan of people being like, I'm not going to read this because the author is problematic, because that puts a filter on ideas that could be very important.
mhm.
Um, because every human being is problematic in some fashion, and that
Yes.
doesn't make people being problematic okay, but
Mhm.
that does make I don't know, the morality of consuming art is a whole thing that
Yes,
we're
it
not going
is
to
a
talk
whole
about,
thing.
but
It's like if because I have my definitive statement that for the most part, not always, but for the most part, I separate art from the artist.
mm-hmm,
There's a lot of things that I really like and will always love, and I just don't think of the artist because
mm-hmm,
the artist might not be the best of people.
yep.
Yeah, it's like we could go into that as an episode, but
No,
that's
that's just
not no.
depressing.
It's
No,
yeah, it
no,
could yeah. It's like
well,
if we ever have like a day where we're like, you know what, frick it, let's talk politics and other depressing things, because hey, we're people, we want to talk about
I'm
that every now
down.
and then.
I'm angry.
Yeah,
So I'm down. I'm angry at the moment, so I would be down for that.
yeah, someday. I'm not sure.
Someday,
Not
maybe.
maybe. If if we do have an episode next time, maybe. I feel like half of that will probably be my recap of my trip, because I will be taking a trip down to Arizona for a week,
Mm-hmm.
seeing
If
friends.
we do next time,
but if we
sorry,
do,
go on.
then I feel like half of that will be recap, and if we still have enough time to talk about it, maybe should be time to talk about it. But
Great. I'm down for that.
that's for us to decide at that point in time.
In the
I'm honestly
meantime,
more down for that, but until then,
in the meantime, I just got a notification that the Lore Olympus series finale just uploaded, so I know what I'm gonna be doing as soon as we conclude here.
uh, and I have a game that I need to play known as Persona
yeah, you
4
do.
Golden.
Heck yeah.
So we've got our own things, but it's been a fun time. Thank you guys for listening.
Absolutely.
Make sure to listen on Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you can listen to podcasts. We'll try to get it onto Apple Podcasts. I'm trying to figure that out. And if you would like to, we'd very much appreciate it if you'd subscribe to this channel. We do this podcast bi-weekly. Other content may come to this channel eventually in the form of commentary, but that is in limbo due to my very busy schedule.
Yeah. Come hang out with us. We love responding to like the chat and stuff, so come be in the chat.
Yeah, it's a very fun time. I just love spending time with my best friend Howie, and and it's always fun. Like, we could talk an hour and a half about frickin' Percy Jackson without it even feeling like it, and it'd be like that. We just
Be like that, I guess.
it'd be like that. Next episode may not come out on time. It all depends on when I return from my trip. But if it does happen, and I'll be fine. But if not, the next episode will either come out on the 27th, and if it doesn't come out, it will come out on the 11th. At the moment, yeah, at the moment it's good. We may get a guest for the episode for the 11th. It all depends.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping to get a specific Cammy Cat
Oh,
for that
cool.
episode, because
All
I feel
right.
like I just want to see you guys interact, and I feel like it'll be a fun time, because it's like, if anything, it's probably going to be a D&D episode. And
Oh my gosh. Okay.
yes, because Cammy Cat at the moment, she's just kind of more focusing just flat out on D&D for her channel. Like, she makes original D&D songs for her characters and
Yes.
loves talking about them and going deep in lore and characters, and she has a very fun time. And I'm like, well, Howie loves D&D as well.
I love D&D. I mean, I love tabletop RPGs.
Well, yeah, and me as somebody who loves them, but has only been part of a quarter of one campaign.
Look, here's the thing. Yeah. I had school and no one was interested in continuing playing.
Oh, no. I was, but but the thing is, there was no one
said anything.
I was just waiting for the next time we were going to hang out, and it never came. And so
you gotta express enthusiasm about the thing,
or
else why am I gonna make the thing?
I say it at the end of each time. I was like, that was so much fun, and everyone was like, yeah, that was fun. The thing is, I just wait for the next one because I was kind of just like a newbie in the whole thing. It was my very first time. I'm just in the corner like, okay, I'm waiting for my cool friend DM to send the next time we're going to record.
Look, listeners, PSA, ask your GM when the next session is. Express enthusiasm between sessions. They need it.
Yeah, because it's just like I thought that there was actually that it was a mixture of school one, which I do. In the second, there was some like tensions between how some characters played, and I was like, I could see that being a reason why.
We did need to establish a no politics rule from the beginning, and we didn't do that, and that proved to be problematic. But I don't know. Like, the problem is starting a D&D game with a bunch of people that just don't like to proactively plan things is like, as someone who gets insecure about asking people to go out of their way to engage with them creatively. Like, not a good mixture.
That isn't a good mixture, because it's just like, for those who know me, I'm not good at texting and messaging. It's like, every now and then, if I gather up enough motivation, I'll text somebody, and then days later, I'll text them again. Or I won't text them for months on end, realize, oh, I haven't texted that person. We're still great friends, right? And I hope that we have that good of a relationship. I'm just not good at messaging. I'm always good in person. I speak my mind, and I'm good in person, which I feel like should be where it counts.
Yeah,
sadly,
but in
this day and age, it sadly doesn't. And that's...
if I'm not actively engaging on a creative project with somebody, and if we do not live in the same place, like, text communication gonna be minimal.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
It's just a fact. It's
an unfortunate fact of my reality. Yeah. Many, we should definitely hang out. We should definitely hang out sometime.
So many of those.
So many. I have such deep, like, I'm gonna die, and it's like, what do you regret in life? It's like, I told so many people, we definitely gotta get together for lunch sometime.
Yeah, it's gonna be on your tombstone. She actually did want to hang out.
She really did want to hang out. She just couldn't.
She just couldn't.
Oh my gosh.
That, or I would put red at this date in time. Okay, well, this time we'll actually end the podcast. For those who somehow stuck it all the way to the end, thank you so much. Also, it would be awesome if you supported us on Patreon at patreon.com/Nenorama. By supporting that Patreon, you support this podcast and all the other shows and works that me, Howie, and whoever else I'm going to be paying for projects will be a part of. But honestly, just you listening, you sharing, it means the world.
We just want to hang out with you guys.
Honestly. So thank you very much. Hope to see you next time.